There's a new show about drag kings, but is it any good? Well, we've got 3 episodes to get to, so let's skip right to the gab. Roll the intro. Prefaces. I don't know shit about drag kings at all. I didn't know they were a thing until very recently, so don't expect an informed opinion because I'm a dumbass. Also, I'm a hater, a lifelong hater. I know the show is new and doesn't have the highest budget, but I'm gonna drag it just like I do Drag Race if I don't like something. If you want to see commentary from someone who loves everything and doesn't have any real opinions, you can watch Monet on the Pit Stop. There's 3 episodes to catch up on, so right here we'll be reviewing episodes 1 and 2, and if you want to see my thoughts on episode 3, you can head on over to the Patreon. Then next week we'll come back for episode 4 and we'll be all caught up. Our host is Murray Hill. Murray is the cutest little guy ever. I love everything he does, and he doesn't frack on his farm in Wyoming.
RuPaul is a climate terrorist.
Apparently, RuPaul doesn't frack, it's his husband, which is a huge difference, okay? Anyway, let's stop talking about RuPaul. We start the episode off with a meeting in the man cave, introducing us to the contestants. The way they do this is weird and obviously poorly planned in my opinion. We don't really get to meet the guys, they're just thrown into a room and then they start talking like it's speed dating. They need to have the contestants walk in one by one so we, the viewer, can be introduced to them and their names. Mama, let me tell you, I got the cast list right beside me while I'm watching this because every 5 seconds I'm just...
What's your name, baby?
Because we never got proper introductions for the contestants. The show kind of just starts, and since they didn't introduce them, I will. We've got Alexander the Great, Big D, Buck Wild, Charles Galen King, Dick Von Dyke, Hinlow Bullfrog, King Molasses, King Burka, Pressure K, and Tuna Melt. The intro section wasn't all bad though because we're introduced to King Molasses, and King, if you're watching, you can reach me at 1-800-FUCK-ME-NOW. We see a few more guys and it becomes apparent to me that this entire cast, almost all of them, is autistic. At least one of them is confirmed, but all of them are giving neuro not typical. This automatically makes the show feel a lot more real to me as an autistic person. I really can't relate to the girls on Drag Race at all, especially now. Almost all of them are so plastic, pumped, rich, and gorgeous in and out of drag that I simply enjoy the show as an idea. But this show feels like I'm watching real people and not characters, and it makes the show make more sense, and I love it. Honestly, start filming this thing on an iPad, because if low budget is what we need to get reality out of reality television, then I'll take it, because most people that do drag are on the spectrum, and if not that spectrum, then another one. My point is that Drag Race feels palatable, and King of Drag feels like the real queer people I see in real life. Now we get to talk about my baby sister, your baby sister, she's everybody's baby sister, Perka, whose drag name I can't even say, which means it's a great drag name.
Where do you live?
Oh, I live in Charlotte.
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yes, but I also just live in a constant state of anxiety.
Of course.
Perka is from North Carolina, and that's where I'm from, and I never thought there was a drag scene of any kind there, but here I sit corrected. I love their look and their makeup. It's kinda insane clown posse or whatever. Then we meet another hot, sexy, fine-ass motherfucker, Dick Van Dyke. I did not expect to be so horny during this episode. They strike up convo with my sister Perka in a very funny exchange.
Oh, hi!
Hi, I'm Dick. It's nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm also a Dick. I'm Perk.
Nice to meet you. Perky Dick. I like it. That's good.
Perka, King Molasses, and Dick are my top 3. I'm not sure if this show does a top 3, but just based on intros alone, these are the most interesting and compelling characters on the show. Murray comes in and tells the kings to share what they represent with their drag, which is something we've never seen on Drag Race.
So what do you want to represent?
I want to represent, you know, classic drag. I want to represent dick jokes.
I can see your dick joke right there.
The girls will talk about their drag, but we don't see all of the girls tell us exactly what they're trying to achieve, and I would like to see more of that on Drag Race because it's not always clear. We're told there's only 6 episodes, which isn't a lot of time to set up storylines, so I'm interested to see if the show is going to do what Drag Race does when they have short seasons and send bitches home 2 at a time.
Neither one of you survived that lip sync.
Then Murray tells them about the prizes, and the way he did this was annoying to me because he kept saying shit, and I'm like, okay, are you gonna give him any money?
The winner of King of Drag will receive a crown and scepter, a custom suit courtesy of Sharp Suiting, talent management with Queer Up Agency, $10,000 in cold, hard cash.
But yes, they do get money and not just a f***ing suit. Not very much money though, so I hope it's a very nice suit so they can sell it. It's after this that I just had to accept that we're just not gonna get a good look at these costumes because they're going right into the mini challenge. I would have appreciated a runway of some sort so we could have gotten a better look at the looks. I'm gay, I want to see the clothes. Having them in these crazy costumes and not taking the time to show them off, combined with the fact that they wear these intro looks the entire episode, would be like if I did this video with a dildo attached to my head and never said anything about it that would be be weird and people would have questions. Anyway, Murray tells the guys that their first mini challenge, or weenie challenge, is a sports-themed photo shoot where they have to make looks out of sports gear. And helping to judge the weenie challenge is Tenderoni and Lashia Clarendon. They do sports, so I have no idea who they are, but beautiful skirts, beautiful skirts. During the weenie challenge, someone said something funny that I want to tell you about, but I can't remember their name because they didn't get intros. Buck Wild, it was Buck Wild. They said,
I knew my roller derby background was gonna come in handy. I will knock a mother out of the way.
And my first thought was going from roller derby to King of Drag is a bit of a hat on a hat, but it's a pipeline I can support. Dick Von Dyke says they feel the need to perform well in this weenie challenge because they're giving middle of the pack, which confuses me because literally nothing has happened at all.
I'm giving middle of the pack king right now, and I am desperately looking for a way to stand out.
They haven't even done the weenie challenge yet. I think I see a storyline peeking through. During the photo shoot, they show us these untouched, unedited photographs, and I was cracking the hell up at the way you can see the dirty ass floor behind the green screen. If they ever showed this much reality on Drag Race, it would be canceled. Dick Von Dyke says,
I'm ready for my dick pic now.
and this is the 15th dick joke in 20 minutes, and I realized at this point that if we're gonna get 6 episodes of terrible dick jokes, then I'm really gonna like this show. King Molasses gets in front of the camera, and you can tell he's making all the boys' packers slip out of place because Dick Von Dyke says Molasses is
A 5 senses experience and gorgeous, and I can't.
I'm with Dick, and that's not the first time or the last time I'll be saying that. Heyo. King Molasses and Charles Galen King, crazy name, win the photo shoot mini challenge and a gift card. Ooh, that's where the budget really shows, because on Drag Race they give out money for ugliest dress and nicest girl, so I really hope this show gets more money. Murray announces the main challenge, and it's a boy band challenge. The guys have to write a song and choreograph a little step touch 1 2 1 2 click clack get back boppity bop bop bow. Winners Charles and Molasses get to pick their teams. Molasses picks Pressure K, and Pressure says they don't want to be the reason they lose.
Molasses pick me first. I'm not worried about being on the team. I just want to make sure I'm meeting their energy. I don't want to be the reason why we lose.
Which, if this show is anything like Drag Race, Pressure will be going home this episode. Big D is picked last and takes it very hard. Sorry, that was in poor taste. If I had a nickel for every time I've said that about a Big D, sorry, I can't stop myself, especially when we're talking about Big D. Okay, moving on.
I feel awful. I feel so low. I feel small.
Apparently, they only have 90 minutes to write their song and choreograph, which was not made clear until right before they started, and I would have been pissed. Drag Race will do this sometimes, but not for the main challenge, because it'll make the girls look bad, and we'll talk later about what happened here. While the boys are getting ready, Alexander the Great says they have experience in drag king boy bands, and they show quite possibly the most homosexual image I have ever seen. Love it. You wouldn't be able to tell by their faces that just moments after this picture was taken, they all died. Molasses says Dick has alpha energy, and I really hope the show is pushing a lover storyline because I'd pay for the tape. Well, maybe I wouldn't pay for it, but I'd still watch.
I quickly establish DVD's alpha energy.
I like that a lot.
The blue ball.
Especially after your little basketball.
Perka says they want to go in the middle.
I strategically pick going in the middle because who remembers the middle verses? I don't. So hopefully the judges won't either.
And I agree with this reasoning. More people on reality television shows need to play smarter and not harder. There's $10,000 on the line here, guys. I'm not trying to bully the show. I just hope they're not doing the Drag Race thing where they can afford to give the contestants like 10 times the prize money and just don't. Molasses says they need to rise to the expectations that people have for them in the competition.
You know, I come in with a bit of a reputation. In order for me to sort of underline that reputation, I have to establish myself as a front runner.
And I'm glad the show is telling me that Molasses is really good at drag because I wouldn't know. When I first discovered drag queens, I thought whoever looked the most like a woman was the best one, but it's so much more than that. So I'm glad the show is kind of guiding viewers who may not know as much through the episode. However, Drag Race tells me all the time queens are great, who I'm not very impressed with, so this could just be production. The guys move on to the choreography, and Tuna Melt has a very interesting team building suggestion.
What if we made out? I'm kidding.
I don't know where they got these green jerseys or why they have them on, but Buck Wild has already sliced the jersey for filth, added fringe, and made a whole look. If you watch the show, it literally goes from one shot of Kings talking, and then boom, we're featuring neon puke realness on the runway. I love it. It's unexplained. It comes out of nowhere. Charles's hat is on upside down. I can make this whole video just about this one scene. Nick and Molasses get into a pretty huge and heated argument.
And if you turn early, we should go with you. You know what I mean?
Listen to the beat. You won't turn early. I absolutely promise you.
I am making suggestions like, what if we do this? And everyone's kind of like, we're good. It's such a humbling learning curve to be used to being a leader and then be faced with the fact that no one's really looking for your leadership. I just wasn't expecting to feel so small.
I'm joking, of course. This was the most level-headed and mature exchange I'd ever seen on television. If this were Drag Race, the girls would have already hired hitmen already. It was fun to see conflict without malice. They were just trying to figure something out. On Drag Race, the girls are actively causing problems. Murray introduces the judges again, this time with new additions. Damian Pelliccioni, Wang Newton, Sasha Velour, and Paul Feig. Oh my god, y'all got the Feigmeister in this joint? I don't know any of these people except for Sasha and Tenderoni, and I only know Tinder because of Vanjie.
Tenderoni! Tenderoni! Now hold on, Tenderoni!
Tenderoni, I don't understand.
Girl, I don't know. Tenderoni, tenderitis.
So thank you, Vanjie. Murray says for this challenge he's looking for daring, innovation, creativity, and charisma with a K. Up first, Bromosexual. This song was interesting. That's how it actually sounded. I didn't edit that. Also, this is where I learned that that wasn't a random outfit, but Buck Wild's look for the challenge, which was a choice, but at least they styled it. Some of the boys just wore the jersey. Tuna Melt feels pretty disappointed in themselves after their performance, which confuses me because I think they had the best verse.
Step off stage, and I'm worried that I needed to drill my lyrics, but I was so tired.
I don't really need to say much about this group because you heard it and you saw it. It was trash. Up next, the Blue Ballers.
Somebody better match my freak, baby girl. I like to hit 7 days out the week.
Molasses 8 flipped me over and rearranged my insides with one line. I haven't swooned this hard for somebody since I last saw myself in the mirror. Hinlow was fine. Good vocals. Nice boy. Halfway through and this group was already much better, but they also had a much better track, and Pressure K had a reveal. The verse was a little ABC Mouse, but I enjoyed it.
It's Pressure K from the A. I love when you scream my name. I know you want me to buy you a chain.
King Perka's verse was the cutest thing I'd ever heard.
I'm an alt king. I'm not really a dancer, but please don't make me cry 'cause I'm just a cancer.
Dick Von Dyke is offbeat, lanky, awkward, and just my type. Tell me what I have to do to make them marry me. Murray then comes on stage to clap for the guys, and I could only think to myself that RuPaul would never be this close to girls who weren't in the top 3. I love this show. Murray also says they'll be judged individually, which is what you want if you did good, but not if you were crunchy boots. Also, they use this time to judge their entrance looks, which finally gives us good, uninterrupted shots of these costumes, but what a stupid idea. They just danced and pranced in these outfits they've been wearing all day. Why would you choose to judge them afterward? Anyway, this was dumb, but I appreciate that we at least got an opportunity to look at the looks. We get to the critiques. They start with Perka, and I agree.
You came out the cut super high energy, a little bit all over the place sometimes. It looked like you were trying to find where you had to be.
We move on to Molasses, and Wang Newton says Molasses has mastered his inner Wang.
But who has mastered their inner Wang?
I agree, and in reference to that Wang, I would like to see it. Alexander the Great got great critiques, and so did Big D. And if I had a nickel for every time I had great critiques for a Big D, I wouldn't have very many nickels. The judges say that Tuna Melt had a bad lip sync, and I completely disagree.
You had the weakest lip sync of everyone, and it's your own words. So I think that just was really distracting.
This was definitely a little bit of production because Perka brings up the fact that the judges didn't even talk about Tuna Melt's lyrics, which is shady as fuck. They're supposed to be judged on their writing and performance, so if the writing doesn't matter, then why make them write the verses, Murray? Sasha announces the winner, and we find out that King Molasses has officially won the first challenge of the first season of King of Drag. Everybody give a round of applause for my baby daddy, please. Thank you. We then find out that Tuna Melt is in the bottom, and someone says the most inappropriate thing.
It's okay with life without a little challenge.
You got that.
Keep swimming, Tuna.
Mama, I'm in the bottom, about to be sent to the house. Don't make jokes. Before Hinlow is announced as the other bottom, King Perka is announced as safe, and they have a group hug while all the other kings clap. It's the most supportive thing I've ever seen on any reality television show. Instead of a lip sync for your life, the bottom kings are doing a final thrust, and what they have to do is break dance? I was intrigued. After watching it though, I wasn't so. It was the opposite of a lip sync, and stupid. But that also might be the point, I don't know. After the performance, the judges actually vote for who should go home, which I love. It's not anonymous at all, they say it right to their faces, and that's that good TV. We find out Hinlow is safe, and Tuna is being sent back to New York, but before they depart, Murray knights Tuna Melt, and this is another heartwarming moment. This was another heartwarming moment.
You are a chosen family, kid. All right, and I mean that.
Also, I'm about to show you something else you would never see on Drag Race.
I got my brothers, a platform to save free Palestine, and an opportunity to uplift and spread raucous trans joy.
If a girl on Drag Race ever tried to utter those words, they would give her the good cherry pie chop edit, quick ended in a hurry. This episode was fun. It's a cheap thrill, low budget, and very charming. I hope as the show gets more money, they keep that low budget charm. We're about to move into episode 2, so here's a reminder that if you want my thoughts on episode 3, you can head on over to the Patreon, where you get access to not only my reviews on this drag show, but the other drag show too, just not that one yet. You also get exclusive bonus episodes of my podcast. It's a whole key. Get into it. I didn't mention this in the last episode, but they start off the episodes with jokes. It's very funny.
I tried stand-up once. The audience was so quiet, I thought I walked into a library.
The boys take some time to mourn the loss of Tuna Melt. May they rest in peace.
Dang, I ain't get to really know Tuna.
Then King says since they won the last challenge, they have a view from the top, huh?
I'm nervous. The view from the top is that you're seeing everybody climb for your spot.
I'm only doing these reviews as a way to get in bed with King Molasses, which would be the only appropriate thing to use my platform for. The boys then go around and ask everybody their out of drag names and their pronouns, and this is something else we've never seen on Drag Race. They start with Dick.
My name's Kat, any pronouns, and or you can call me Dickless Von Dyke.
Dick's real name is Kat, and that's hilarious because there are they, them, he, she, we, and I'm sure at some point they've had blue hair. They're absolutely my type. Diana goes by she, her, and reveals they're a mother, which is fun, but it made me think, is this a Maddie Morphosis situation? And if so, is there discourse to be had, or was there never discourse to be had about Maddie in the first place? Questions, questions, questions. Molasses is non-binary, which is hot because they're hot. Alexander's real name is Alexander, but the way they said it was hilarious.
My name is also literally Alexander out of drag, but I'm just like Alexander.
Charles Galen says you can call them Charles and takes some time to share some feelings.
You can call me Charlie, and my pronouns are she, they. I'm a beautiful Mexican indigenous blood with Shakira, with Chol, that has the privilege to show off my culture and share it alongside all of you. And just being able to do that is f***ing great. Yeah. And just being in this show means the f***ing world, because those people out in this world needs to see every single one of you.
This comes completely out of nowhere. The cast is clearly very emotional and lovey-dovey and very close, and I like that, but the editors need to keep more context in so it doesn't feel like a therapy session out of nowhere. I'm sure someone said something to prompt Charles to start crying and spilling their guts and they just cut it out. Or maybe I'm just a cold-hearted, terrible person, which isn't out of the realm of possibility. We find out this week the boys are doing an improv challenge, and Murray brings in Jeff Miller to do something. This week the boys are doing an improv challenge. Murray brings in Jeff Miller, who I know I've seen in something, but I could not tell you what. Oh my god. What is that? Jeff helps introduce the Weenie Challenge, where the boys have to create a story one word at a time. Perka does a great job, in my opinion.
Good, I was just wondering, could someone explain the Higgs boson particle theory?
Testicles.
They blame their quirky performance on their autism, and they have this to say when asked if they want to keep talking about their autism.
Basically, this challenge was the Screw Your Autism Challenge.
Talk about your autism?
I mean, I think the people who watch it, it's going to be apparent.
The winner of the Weenie Challenge was Alexander's group. After finding that out, we move on to the Big Beef and Cheddar Challenge, or whatever it's called. As Murray was explaining it, I was like, oh, that's Snatch Game. So I was excited to see something better than that All-Stars hootenanny, but we'll talk later about if we got that. They do a group huddle before the commercial break, and again I had to think to myself that RuPaul would never get this close to girls who weren't in the top 3. Touching possible losers? Yuck. Yuck Tina. Yuckingham Palace. We come back from commercial, the boys have 3 hours to get ready and start talking about what characters they're gonna do. Hinlow is doing Jack Black, and that feels apt for their character. Perka is doing Steve Urkel, which also feels perfect for their character. There's a quick chat about the power of makeup, and this singular conversation had more depth and reality than any season of Drag Race.
For me, as like a girl growing up, I was always told like, oh, you'd be so much prettier if you tweezed your eyebrows, you'd be so much prettier if you wore makeup.
It's like I'm doing more women things to look like a man.
Right, it's funny.
They're talking about the complexity of doing something that's seen as feminine, makeup, for the end goal of impersonating masculinity. That's a complex and multifaceted topic. On Drag Race, they basically say trans people are good now, and that's the amount of depth we're given. Even though this show feels a bit sappy at times, the editors and producers know how to handle complex situations a lot better than some other drag shows out there, and they should take notes. Murray brings out the guest judges before the challenge, and I like that this show has a slightly different setup. We start the Snatch Game, the Dong Show, and everyone gives their little intros.
It's the devil, Sylvester Stallone, Rick Ross, Nosfer Fatuto, Jack Black. I'm ready to bring some rock and roll. Steve Irwin.
G'day, mate. How's it going?
Ira Glass. Justin Bieber. Steve Urkel.
They then move on to the talent portion, which, why not? I didn't even know there would be a talent portion, but love to see it. Dick Von Dyke is doing Steve Irwin, and oh my god, they're so hot. That's actually the extent of my commentary. I don't even know if they were that funny because my eyes were fixated on a very specific place because I have the maturity of a 13-year-old. Dick's best line was,
like dinosaurs.
dinosaurs living in Florida. Thank you for being a friend, righto?
Also, Sasha asked him why he chose to play Carmen on the trumpet, and his response was perfect.
Why Carmen?
Because it is in the public domain, which is everything that I look for in my musical case.
Hinlow as Jack Black was very interesting because the hair was giving RuPaul's Drag Race, not King of Drag. Their performance was awkward and strange, but they did successfully play an instrument with their feet, which is impressive. Molasses was Ira Glass, and I had to look up who this white man was, and turns out he's an NPR host, so that tracks. My favorite thing about Molasses is that they know they're hot, sexy, and fly, and the more they know it, the more we get to see it. They were also very funny. Murray sets up a perfect joke, and King hits it out of the park.
How many push-ups did you say a white guy has to do to be fit?
Well, a white guy can do as many as he wants, given that he's white.
The Devil goes next, and I'm confused as to what the talent or show part of this was supposed to be, but it was lively, I suppose. Alexander as Justin Bieber goes next. This is very scary and gives me Mistress as Natalie Nunn flashbacks. Big D is up as Sylvester Stallone, and for their talent, they boxed a fitted sheet. This was great. 10 out of 10, I loved it. I didn't care for Charles Galen's performance, and this is very off topic, but Charles Galen King is such a bad drag name to me. I like drag names that tell you about the performer, so like King Molasses tells you they're black and they're a sex machine. I think Galen King would be better, or just Galen, but a first, middle, and last drag name and not one of them is a joke or a reference. You're taking up valuable space in my mouth that I could be using on King Molasses. See how easy it is to say King Molasses? Charles Galen King literally gets stuck in my throat. It's the opposite of rolling off the tongue. If it turns out to be cultural, I will apologize. Perka as Steve Urkel is up next, and they say this very confusing sentence.
For my talent, I'm doing a transformation chamber.
For my talent, I'm doing a transformation chamber.
Huh? Explain that to a Victorian child. This entire performance was the most autistic thing I had ever seen. The only thing that would have made it better was a fucking Transformers reference. I loved it. And they were funny. Perka is immediately insecure about their performance, and I hate that they're so hard on themselves, but as a person who's also loving on the spectrum, so to speak, I completely understand.
I think I did terrible. If I was on the judges panel, I would put myself in the bottom.
Pressure was fine. I didn't laugh, but that was only because there weren't any jokes. It's hard to be too hard on this challenge because it's the first time they've ever done it, but I think with some tweaks and some more prep work from the contestants, this could be way better than Snatch Game. Big D's critiques were spot on. They did great. Big D to me is like Ginger Minge, but if Ginger Minge was actually the best. Oh, and also, Big D had even funnier moments during the judging. It just kept going. I loved it.
I've been defeated by this sheet, which is what Rocky does too, right? He doesn't win or whatever, so...
He does win.
I actually don't know. I've never seen Rocky.
Buck Wild's critiques are on point and uplifting, which is something that you rarely see on Drag Race.
What was missing for me was you know, and I think you're an incredible dancer, and when you fell down on the ground at the end, I just like a couple little bumps of the, you know, whatever you want to do, like take your heart and fill up the stage with you. Because when you do you're gonna win. I
thought they were kind of harsh on Alexander, but the performance was bad, and they made me very uncomfortable. We find out the winner, and King Molasses has won yet another challenge. You better do it, daddy. Can you call non-binary people daddy? I'm awaiting confirmation. The judges then announce Alexander as safe, leaving Perka and Buck in the bottom, which is absolute goop and gaggery. Perka was funny, point blank period, and Alexander should have been in the bottom for being scary, but this gives us more screen time with Perka, so I won't complain about that. For the final thrust challenge, the bottom two have to prepare a stand-up set. Buck gave a dissertation.
When I was double booked for a fundraiser, my go-go dancers and I went to the second spot, and there's a line of people around the building. I was like, oh, are all these people?
And Perka was funny, again, for the second time this episode.
Distinguished panel of judges. And Jeff.
The judges then get to vote, and I'll never get over how much I love that, and they vote for Perka to stay. Buck leaving was pretty sad, actually. They talk about how they were feeling disconnected from their drag character.
I just didn't feel as connected to Buck in that moment. When he's not there, it kind of makes me a little vulnerable. Of all the times that this could happen, why this moment?
I hope you enjoyed this dense review of the first 2 episodes of King of Drag. Remember, if you want to see my thoughts on episode 3, you can head on over to the Patreon. You also get access of my bonus reviews of Untucked, and I promise I make Untucked a lot more interesting. And I can't forget to thank Lexi, Jennifer, and Megan, just a few patrons helping me keep the lights on here at Your Mother International Boarding School for Queers. All right, have a good day. I said that. Oh, I said that. I love when it doesn't take me 15,000 takes to say something.